So hello and welcome. My name is Katie Trampolis, and today I have the pleasure of having Mac here. He is with Ross Felty. So feel free to go ahead and tell me a little bit about your business.
Yeah, hi Katie. Yeah, my name is Mac Ross. I'm with Ross Felty, a real estate law firm. I'm the managing attorney here at a law firm based out of Jupiter, Florida. Um, and we do real estate law, right? We do all of our firm focuses on issues that surround basically transactions of real estate. So a lot of our clients are buying homes or buying commercial property or selling homes, selling commercial properties, selling properties, investing, leasing, mortgaging, anything that has to do with kind of the transaction side of real estate we work on. And that's all throughout Florida, really. We're based out of Jupiter, but we can go anywhere and we can close deals anywhere.
Perfect. And so my question that is something that commonly gets asked for me is, can you do document prep? As notaries, I don't do document prep, so I would refer them over to you. But what would the general cost be to start utilizing your services?
Yeah, so we've got a couple ways we get retained. One is if we're acting as the closing agent and we're actually closing the deal, we're issuing the title insurance on the deal. We typically charge a small fee, a 7.95 settlement fee, and then we get paid basically a portion of the title insurance premium. So that's how we get paid in that. And title insurance is different than any other kind of insurance. Rate wise, it's promulgated rate in Florida, which means it's based upon the price. For an owner's policy, it's based upon the purchase price. For a lender's policy, it's based upon the loan amount. And it's going to be the same rate whether you come to a law firm or you go to a title company. Um, so that's a unique there where really how we try to provide value is our service, because you're going to get the same rate at any place. So we've really got to hone in on how our service is the best, right? We have to have a good customer experience. So that's
Yeah.
one way we get retained. The other way is if we're just the attorney, right? And somebody's buying, we're not acting as closing agent, but a lot of frequently we'll have buyers that say, hey, I know it's not required in Florida to have an attorney, but I just feel more comfortable if I had an attorney on my side
Hmm.
reviewing things for us. There, we typically do an hourly fee engagement. We used to do a lot of flat fee, but we do an hourly fee engagement and a good range I give buyers and sellers if we're just acting as their kind of attorney, reviewing things, making sure things are going smoothly. Um, as long as everything kind of goes smoothly, a good range is 1,500 to 2,500. But if there's something that pops up like in title and we review and say, hey, this is an issue, we need to step in, or somebody defaults and we need to kind of put our lawyer hat on and start sending mean lawyer letters, right? Those are a little bit out of the typical closing, so the fees might go a little higher, but a good range is 1,500, 2,500.
Okay. Um, and then as a side note, Mac, every single time that you touch the desk, it like shakes the camera.
Oh,
So
that's
just
I'm
stop
playing
doing
the
that.
desk.
I know.
I'm really good at that. I got the shaky desk here. Okay, I'll
It's
stay away.
okay. I'm sorry. I was like, it's fine, but like, I think I'm gonna say something. Okay.
Okay,
All right. We're gonna edit that out. That's fine.
edit it out. No, leave it in. Who cares?
Okay.
People like
Um,
that. Authentic.
okay. And then you said that some things do pop up. So what are some of the things that like, let's say last week or recently have happened that like, let's say I'm a consumer and I'm like, oh gosh, thank God that Mac was looking at this. Like, what are some things that have happened?
Yeah, I mean, just recently I had a mediation on Monday. I represented a buyer. The seller just decided they didn't want to go through with the sale anymore, and they just said, "This is we don't want to sell to you." And so, I was there to kind of let them know that's not really how it goes. You have a contract. Here's what we have. They lawyered up. The buyers hired me.
Yeah.
We were able to mediate a successful outcome for the buyer.
Mhm.
They didn't get the property, but they got, some cash in their pocket and they're going to go look for a new place, right? So
Yeah.
that's one thing that it doesn't happen too often. I would say in 10 deals, maybe, I mean, I would probably say 8 out of 10 deals are pretty easy, pretty
Mhm.
clean, not much out of the ordinary. But those other two deals, sometimes they'll have code liens. We're dealing with a code lien issue right now. Uh,
Could
uh,
you expand on that?
yeah, so actually, you helped us with this closing
Oh, okay.
recently. It was
Okay.
one that we went under contract in March of last year, and there was code liens that had racked up. Um, Fines in the six figures,
Hmm.
Palm Beach County. So what we did, and obviously we needed to, clear that before we could sell it. And that's a title issue. There's a code lien that's recorded against the property for an amount of money. One way or another, we got to clear it, whether it's pay the full fine amount
Hmm.
or, negotiate a reduced fine amount. And we were able to negotiate a reduced fine amount with the county. Um, for our seller. But
Yeah.
and finally, we've gotten to the finish line. Yeah, there was a lot more than just the lien. There was a foreclosure issue. You're familiar with
Yeah.
who we're dealing with. So
Yeah.
it was a very difficult um, difficult deal, but we were able to, and we stuck with it. We were able to, it was from, like I said, March of last year. We entered into a pre-closing occupancy for the buyers because they had a loan. They were missing dates on their loan, so they needed a place to stay. There was a lot of moving parts, and we were able to really help them with that.
So I have a question for you, and I've never really honestly thought about this. So do you essentially not get paid until the house is closed on or like the property is done?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
so you could be working until March, and then if it doesn't close, then you're just out all of that time?
Yeah, and we almost we were at the finish line. Literally, our deadline was today, and we were able to get it closed yesterday because the reduced fines were only good for so long. They say you can pay this reduced amount, but if you don't pay it by X date, then it's going back to the full rate.
Yeah.
So yeah, we worked from March, and we were very close to basically making nothing on that deal because it wouldn't close. So. I mean, we probably would have sent an invoice but the house is
Yeah.
in foreclosure. Good luck getting, any kind of payment. But
Compensation.
yes.
That's interesting because I never really thought about that as far as the title company not really getting anything until everything is done, which like I know that we're interviewing you and I'm sorry, but I think that it's crazy that sometimes people or like the title agents will just be like, "Oh yeah, go find a random notary," when like you have all of this other stuff writing on you and it's
Mhm.
like, "What are you guys doing?" So, yeah, but that's yeah,
Well,
because
that's why, I mean, goals are kind of aligned, right? We're on your side.
yeah,
We
yeah,
want to make sure this deal closes. And
yeah,
that's what we kind of tell realtors a lot too, that, a lot of realtors think attorneys are just going to mess their deal up. But really, our goals are aligned. We don't get
yeah.
paid if this deal doesn't close. So, and it's not that money's the only thing. We're trying to do a good job for our clients. But if we do
Mhm.
a good job for our clients, we hope obviously it'll close.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. This was a good point that I did not know about
Yeah.
previously. So then the other question that I wanted to go into is could you go over a little bit of the closing process? Because as notaries and like for my part, I don't hear anything about the file until you would send it to me. And then,
Hmm.
because of our partnership, if there is something that's a little bit tricky about it, you'll tell us. But otherwise, like I just see the file and take care of it. And then, but what's the process
Yeah.
before that?
Yeah. So back way before in ancient times, before COVID, right? It used
Hmm.
to be everybody, even like before I started getting into the real estate law, before I was even a real estate attorney, everybody would come into the title agent's office or the closing attorney's office. I'm talking everybody, sellers, buyers, lenders, agents, all sit at one big table in a conference room, and they would all go over the docs together, and everybody laugh and joke and sign. Everybody's happy. Um, COVID changed the game on that, obviously, and it's been a lot more use of remote notaries, online notaries, and mobile notaries, however you want to call it. But we really started using mobile notaries in remote notaries and online notaries when COVID really hit because, as you know, in Florida, the market just went crazy. So we had to have somebody. We had either you or a remote notary ready to go, just sitting in our office.
Yeah.
And literally, she sat in our conference room and signed deals. And then the next person came in and we closed the deal. We closed the deal. And that way, our closer could stay on the computer, making sure he's sending the documents to lenders and stuff like that. Um, and not getting in it because being in a closing room can, it used to take an hour,
Yeah.
everybody's talking, asking questions. COVID doesn't allow that. I mean, everybody just wants efficiency. And
Mhm.
so, um, you know, in order to kind of keep going back to the customer experience, and it's tough to do that sometimes, but we utilize with all the people like, I just want to sign remotely. Just send me somebody here. Just send me somebody. So we like to have we partner with you, and you've been great for us because everybody loves you, right? Everybody loves Katie and everybody loves her team.
Thank you.
So it's been great for us. We can kind of keep that customer experience level up because we
Hmm.
say, hey, our our online notary is going to be in touch with you, Katie, or one of her team is going to be in touch with you. They'll schedule the signing with you. They'll take it from there. And it makes it really easy on our clients, right? Because it makes it easy on us too. We're like, hey,
Yeah.
Katie, here's the docs. You can go get them, and then
Yeah.
you schedule it and sign it. Sometimes our clients have been difficult, and you're like, I know, and but you've dealt with them greatly, and everybody's been happy. So in order to kind of keep that customer experience, we like to align with people that have great customer service. And I
Well,
think I
thank
just hit the table again, so sorry if it shook.
That's okay. You did, but that's okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It did take, it was a little bit of a learning curve to realize that I couldn't just send the link and be like, okay, guys, see you in there. It was like,
Yeah,
no, there's a process to
yeah,
get these people to get online. So I appreciate that. It did take a lot, and then I'm very proud of our team, like the team that we work with, because now it's just like a I don't know. It's a well-oiled machine.
yeah, absolutely.
Knock on wood. So uh,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting too because some of the scenarios that have come up with real estate signings and remote locations, because in the very beginning, like a lot of the pushback that I always got was like, oh, I just send them to my bank or I make them come into the office. And like, you're a perfect example that that doesn't always happen. And like, have have they appreciated the ability to do remote? I mean, like, what's your experience been for the clients?
Yeah, I think they love it. And it's a great tool that we've been able to utilize. And I just had a deal yesterday came in, and this guy, he's an interesting guy. He's from LA, and I think he's in like the show business, movie business world, but he's going to be, um, out of country on closing date. And it's
Yeah.
like, what the heck, man? Why didn't you schedule it for when you're in the country? But that's what it used to be like, be like, oh God, these guys are, but now it's like, well, no problem. We've got
Yeah.
Katie, we can just send somebody. And it gives everybody a real, because they don't understand it. They don't know that.
Yeah.
They're still, they don't close 30 deals a month. This is the one deal they close or they're working on or they're buying or selling probably every 6 or 7 years. I don't know how many houses do you buy in a lifetime?
Yeah.
So they don't know, and that's one of their biggest questions. Do I have to be there for the closing?
Hmm.
Well, it depends. If we need wet signatures, if you're signing loan documents, then probably. But if not, if you're a seller, we can have you sign anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. And
Hmm.
I think
Well,
even,
go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was saying, I think he even helped if somebody didn't have a computer, they did it like through their phone or
Yeah.
tablet.
Yeah. Yeah. So if they have their phone, basically it's like anything, like if you have like even dial, like the least hint of dial up in like a flip phone, it's like, okay, I can usually get that to work. So that's been one of the interesting things is like the tech side of things as far as with the remote notarization, there's a lot more that goes into it
Yeah.
than what I think probably like any of the lawyers or the title companies that I work with would want to deal with. And so that has been a little bit of an interesting because I'm not tech savvy. Like I don't and I have to walk these
Really?
people through and I'm like, okay, this is how to clear your browsers. This is how to there's a lot of troubleshooting that goes into getting these deals closed. But it's good. And then,
Yeah.
it's these types of partnerships. Um where else was I going to go from this? There was something else that I wanted to bring up. Oh, that was another thing that I wanted to kind of talk about is that sometimes you have clients that need to do let's say there's an old title and there's a release that needs to be signed by an old like a old owner.
Like a prior grantor. Yeah.
A what? Is that okay? Could
Yeah. A
you
prior.
go
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
Could you go sorry. Could you go a little bit into that? Because that has been something that my company deals with fairly often because um it'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't know that this was outstanding, or like a construction group still has a lien on that house, and then like they're over in a different country, or they're over like they're like, I'm not coming into an office. And then usually that's where I swoop in and I'm like, hey, I got this. We can just do it remotely. So can you talk a little bit about those types of documents and why that would be important?
Yeah. So a lot of times we'll get a title commitment in on a deal and they'll ask for some corrective instruments, corrective documents. A lot of times a corrective deed or like you said, maybe a notice of there's a claim of lien out there or a notice of commencement that never got cleared. Some contractors have a process set up to sign an affidavit. A lot of them don't. And it's great to have somebody we can just say we'll send Katie to handle it. But yeah, so when you have a corrective deed, so say you had a deed that was signed by say I sold you a property, right? And then you're
Mhm.
going to sell somebody the property. Max sells it to Katie, Katie sells it to I don't know, Deb in our office, right? And we find out that my deed to you had an error in the legal description
Mhm.
or some other error that was not correctable by a scrivener's affidavit, something that was like a serious issue. You need it. If I had an error in the legal description, essentially, I didn't deed you the property. We
Yeah.
didn't. It wasn't a valid conveyance. So then you can't. I'll then in turn convey it over to Deb because you really don't hold title to that because the deed I gave you was not
Real.
correct. It was
Yeah.
an incorrect So, but I sold it to you, then I moved out to I don't know, where do I want to move out to? I moved to Tokyo, right? So I'm gone.
Okay.
Right. So, and we've had this happen where people are out of the country, out of, Canada, places, and they've just because they sell and they're gone. Some people oh, that house, and sometimes they don't find out till years down the road.
Mhm.
Um, we'll track them down and then it's having you or having a mobile notary makes it so much easier just to say, hey, there's a corrective instrument we need you to sign, there's just a minor error in the legal description, no big deal, we'll handle it. Katie will be in touch, she'll get you the document and then we'll sign it and go for it. And
Mhm.
that's what it's been so convenient, to help how that's helping us clear title issues and
Yeah.
helping us be more efficient in our process.
Yeah, and so I don't think that we really went over the closing process. So do you want to go ahead and kind of walk through the from when a realtor comes and brings a new contract to you, what are
Mhm.
the steps that you take after that?
Yeah, we try to say we handle everything from signature to settlement. So when we get a contract in from a realtor and they say, Mac, your firm is title agent. I say, great, thank you. Send me the contract. We get the contract. Obviously, I look through it to make sure there's nothing funky or anything that I need to pay attention to, special terms wise. We send that to Deb, or yeah, Deb usually, if she's in the office, she will open the file. That file gets assigned to a team, a processor, and a closer. It's typically either Jessica or Susan as a processor, and Greg's our only closer, so he's closing every deal.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll step in and close a deal, and so we'll have a team. So the processor will take it from there. The processor then processes the file, almost like pre-closes it.
Okay.
They will order all the searches, um, verify identities through our certified identity verification process.
Hmm.
They will, if there's like a notice of commencement out there, they will notify, hey, here's what we need to do. We need to get a contractor's affidavit, or hey, we need to get a corrective deed here. Hey, Mac, there's a lien out there. We need to look at that. How do we get that cleared? So they'll kind of be the first eyes on the file. They will try to clear as many things as possible as they can on their own. If they can't clear something, then it comes to me. Once we get everything clear to go, it's typically in the closer's hands. If there's a loan, he's going to balance with the lender. He's going to handle all that. Greg will handle all the logistics of closing.
Hmm.
Um, and typically, I think you'll get emails from Greg like, "Hey, Katie, here's what we need. Seller signing, it's tomorrow. Can you get it?" And
Yeah.
that's when. So the closing process really is once we have everything cleared, we draft the documents, and it's just a matter of scheduling. Okay, we got it. Buyer and matter of scheduling and collecting the cash. So okay,
Hmm.
sellers in California, let's get a Ron out to them. Buyers with a loan. They're going to come into the office, or we're going to have our mobile notary drive out to them, get wet signatures,
Hmm.
bring all those documents together. We'll combine them and collect the money, and then just basically tell everybody, "Hey, congrats, we're closed. We're
Yeah.
dispersing now." So cash goes to the seller. The proceeds go to the seller. Whatever else we need to pay off, if there's mortgages or loans or liens or anything we have to pay off, that's all handled on the closing statement. So. That's really in a nutshell. And then even after closing, we have Angela, who's our post closer. So a lot of times there'll be, I've seen more frequently like a post closing occupancy or a post closing holdback. A lot of times maybe there's some work that the seller said they were going to do prior to closing
Mhm.
that hasn't finished yet, right? So instead of like, we're not going to close, we'll close now, we'll hold back $5,000. You fix that window, and then when you fix the window, we'll release the 5,000 bucks.
Mhm.
So we do all that a lot. And sometimes it's a seller saying, "Hey, I want to close on December 1st, but I can't get all my stuff out until December 16th. Would you give me a couple days or weeks of post-closing occupancy?"
Mhm.
We'll draft the post-closing almost like a lease, like a 2 week lease. And Angela will kind of she'll be the spearhead on that. So once the seller says, "Hey, I fixed that window, give me my money back," it will say, "Angela, go get a release, get this money sent out." Um, or it's, "Hey, we're moving out. We got all our stuff out of the house. Can you release that security deposit and that we had on the post-closing occupancy?" So we really handle everything from the minute we get a contract up to the end, up to closing, and even after closing, we're there to support.
Mhm.
And then Angela handles all the policy issue after closing as well. So and that's really the end product. You get the title insurance policy, you get your deed, you get all the other docs that came with closing,
Mhm.
and you put them in a drawer somewhere. You probably never look at them for the rest of your life until you sell the place.
I know. It's like these are important. I'm gonna put them up in my closet.
Yeah.
Never
I don't
touch
even know
them
where
again.
mine are. I mean, I remember when I purchased my house and the closing agent did a great job. This is before I got into the business, and
Yeah,
they're in a drawer somewhere in my house. I don't
I
know.
know. I'm like, I'm sure it's great. Like I didn't look at any of it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other thing that I also wanted to talk to you about is that sometimes there is last minute closings. So can you talk about that too? Because every once in a while, like it doesn't happen a ton, and like I'm always happy for any type of work, but sometimes you do throw Hail Marys. You're like, hey, can you do this? Like, yes, not yesterday, but like, hey, can
Yeah.
you do this within a couple of hours? What are some of the circumstances that would happen?
Yeah. You don't have to sugarcoat it, Katie. I send those to you all the time. I'm like, "Katie, can you please save us here? We need this done like now." Um, it's funny and it happens. Oh, I don't know. It seems to happen frequently. Maybe not frequently, but you like this one. I go back to the example of the deal we've been working on since March, literally
Mhm.
getting everything cleared and boom, 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 boom. And like we're at the finish line. Then, we had issues with the buyer. And it's always like, it seems to happen right at the end. We have some issues and we were getting ready to, at that point, we were getting ready to find the buyer was short cash. So I was going to say, well, the seller will give a seller financing for the little shortfall. So I
Mhm.
was drafting a mortgage. I had Katie in the back of my mind. I'm like, Katie's going to have to get this mortgage like signed and notarized, and I don't know how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Luckily, they found the money and they were able to close. But
Mhm.
yeah, stuff like that comes up a lot, and where I don't know, where we it kind of is a value to have an attorney and have somebody that can do these documents quickly because we can think of creative solutions. Whereas it's not like, well, now we got to get this drafted, and then we got to get it out to the person to notarize it, and um, where having somebody mobile or online can do it much quicker.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens. Like we were getting ready to. That's the only example I can think of in the moment right now. But oh, I mean, you've done other ones for us where we've had like affidavits needed to be signed or indemnities needed to be signed at the last minute
Hmm.
because right before closing, typically what we'll do is a title update. Um, and if you look at a commitment, there's a commitment effective date. It's typically, so if I got a commitment in today of a title insurance commitment for a property in Florida, the effective date of the commitment would probably be like maybe October 28th because they only have so much access to what's in public record. Public records don't update. They're not current to the hour
Okay.
to the
Okay,
minute,
that makes
right? So
sense.
there's a gap period. So if so, we always try to get a title update to take another look at the public records just before closing to shrink that gap. So, we order a title pretty early on in the process, order title commitments. So we might have an effective date of title commitment that's, say we're closing something today, our effective date of a title commitment would be sometime in September. We're going to get a title update, make sure nothing else got recorded against the property that's adverse to the property,
Hmm.
and shrink that gap. And sometimes like liens pop up. We had one deal that was just every time we did a title update, a new lien popped up because they weren't paying their subs. They weren't paying their subcontractors.
Hmm.
They weren't paying the contractors, and the contractors weren't paying the subs. So every contractor was filing liens, and we'd get one knocked out, and we'd try to go to closing. I would get another pre-closing update, and another lien would pop up.
Oh,
So every time one of those pops up, we have to get a contractor's affidavit signed, and probably get something notarized,
yeah.
and yeah, so it happens. It does happen, and those aren't fun. So we always hope for a clean title update, but sometimes they have the issues pop up.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's one of the things of like why you would want to work with your company though, because it's like if I was trying, like I would never try to do this by myself, but like if there is someone that was trying to do this, or like you can't get a property without making sure that it's clean and good. So yeah, and I wouldn't know how to deal with any of that. Um,
Yeah, and I think it's a benefit of having an attorney that
yeah.
can talk to their underwriter and has the experience in these issues. And it's a pain in the butt, but we see it. We know what we got to do. We got to get a hold of the contractor. We got to clear it out, or sometimes there are issues that are so big that closing will have to be delayed. But
Mhm.
we'll
Yeah.
try to exhaust all options before we have to do that.
Yeah. Well, also for any of the notaries like that are listening, there is a lot more that goes on in the back end of what is going on with the title companies. And so if you do get those last minute docs that are dropped, like give the title companies and the law firms more grace because it's not like they're like, "Oh yeah, let me just drop the docs at the last minute to make Katie stressed out." Like I know that that's not happening.
Yeah.
So, it's when you're working with different partners, um, it's a cohesive thing where you're working together towards a common goal, which is,
Yep.
a closing that is nice and the people walk away happy and then everything's done and legal and then you can you can put that in a file and not think
Yep.
about it for the rest of the
Yep.
day. So
Yep.
yeah. But if there is someone that wants to reach out to you to work with you in general, what's a good way to contact you?
Yeah. Email is probably best. MAC at rossfelty.com, rossfelty.com. You can copy my operations manager, Deborah. It's DEBORAH at rossfelty.com. If you have a contract, just send it to both of us. We'll get the file open usually within a few minutes of getting the contract. My cell phone is I give my cell phone out to anybody who needs some. Maybe it's not the greatest idea, but 561-632-8807. If you have a legal question or I'm here to talk real estate. I'm here to help you out if you're a realtor, broker, or just somebody that's looking to buy and purchase or sell and has questions about the process. feel free to reach out. The meter's not running. I'm happy to, have give initial consultations on things
Mhm.
and help people any way I can.
Well, thank you so much. Also, I'm going to keep this running because I wanted to highlight that you do work with investors as well. Because sometimes, correct? You
Yeah.
correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because sometimes when I'm in a couple of different investing groups because I'm the notary for them, and they're like, we can't find, they run into some sort of snafu, and then they need either someone that does document prep or that they can help walk through a specific scenario that's happening within their deal. So I also wanted to highlight that you are very, very good at doing those types of things as well. And like I completely endorse working with you as well.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
investors that are looking to find a good Florida title company law firm that does work within real estate. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Yeah.
of course. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining me.